In the modern games, one of the most important components that increase the quality of the gameplay is the NPCs. NPCs have a huge impact in the game. Nobody would like to play a game where NPCs act very unnatural. To make more realistic NPCs, you're gonna need to handle some challenges. One of these challenges is how the NPCs see around. This will directly affect how they interact with the game world. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to talk about game development. I hope you are doing well and everything is going well too. Today we're gonna see how to implement field of view for NPC or any other game object which you might need. So let's get started if you are ready. Today's implementation is pretty straightforward. We have our player and one of the red NPCs standing right here. We wanna give ability to the NPC to see the player according to the distance and angle which we're gonna set. And also we want NPC to see player only if it is possible. What I mean is, NPC should be able to see the player only if there is no any obstacle object which can cover the player. We create a script and name it NPC. You can name as you wish. In this script, top of the class, we are adding Unity engine as usage. This is gonna let us to use Unity's features. We're gonna need to know what is player. Because of that, we are defining variable which we are gonna set the player. Then, we define observer variable. We're gonna use this variable for raycasting. We continue by defining range and angle, which are gonna be the fundamental values of the field of view. And we define layer mask. We're gonna need this variable for raycasting. We're gonna use it to detect obstacles. These two variables are optional. It is only for better understanding. We are adding option for displaying gizmo and variable for the color of the gizmo. To make everything organized, we create a function, which is gonna tell us if the player is visible or not by checking some conditions. This function is gonna return true or false. True means that the player is visible, while the false means not. Firstly, we are getting direction by subtracting NPC's position from the player position. The direction in here is represent a line. The transform is the game object which this script is gonna be attached. So in this case, it's gonna be the NPC. After calculating the direction, we are getting angle by using vector3.angle function. This function expects two variables. The first one is forward of the transform, means forward of the NPC, and the second one is the direction, which we already have. So now we have both direction and angle. We are ready to check conditions. Firstly, we are checking if the player is in the range. We are doing this by checking the length of the direction. The direction in here represents a line, and magnitude gives length of the line. The first condition is if the player is in the specific range or not. And then we are checking the second condition, which is angle. In C#, you can use more than one condition in the if statement by using AND operator. And simply it tells the both conditions should be valid at the same time. If only one of them is valid, full if statement will be not valid and the next line of the code will be not executed. So we have already calculated angle above. And now we are checking if the angle is within the limit. If the all conditions are valid, we are passing observer position, direction, length of the direction, and finally the layer of the obstacles to the physics raycast. And checking if it is false. This means raycast is not hitting any obstacle, so we are returning it. If the result of the raycast is false, means that condition is valid and the result of the return is gonna be true. If the result of the raycast is true, means that condition is not valid and the return is gonna be false. Actually, this code means this, only simpler version. At the end, we return false as a result of the function. This part of the code is gonna be executed when none of the conditions are valid. On draw gizmos, we are only drawing field of view of the NPC. These codes are not mandatory for the feature which we are implementing. That's why I'm not gonna talk about them line by line. Simply, we are setting color and then making some calculations to draw triangle which is gonna represent the field of view of the NPC. As I mentioned before, this part is optional. You don't have to edit if you don't want. Finally, we are calling this player visible function in the update method and writing the result of it by using debug.log. If the player is visible, we're gonna get the true as a response of this player visible function, and we're gonna write it by using debug.log. If we get false, we're gonna write it too. After we completed the script part, in the Unity editor, we are assigning the controls to the variables. We are assigning player, then the observer. The observer is simple empty game object which I created inside the NPC game object. By doing this, we can simply start raycasting from the position which we prefer. We're gonna use it as the eyes of the NPC, so I positioned it close to the eyes. We continue to set range, which is gonna be the maximum distance which NPC can see. Then we set angle to. Now we need to create a new layer. We're gonna use this layer to set obstacle which can cover the player. So if the player is behind the obstacle, the NPC is not gonna be able to see. We set the layer for the obstacles in the NPC script. Also, we are setting one of the objects layer as obstacle. This object is gonna be the obstacle. Now we are ready to test. As you can see, when the player is in the area which NPC can see, we have console message accordingly. If the player is not in the NPC's field of view, we get another message in the console. So let's test the obstacle. You can use this feature in your game, and you can change the range and angle as you wish. Such features could make your game way more interesting. Give it a try. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there are some suggestions to make these videos better, please share them with me in the comments section. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this. Thanks again. See you.